Hey guys, it's time to make one of the videos. My Sprinter is not starting. I've been kind of wanting to make a video like this in a while, but I haven't had this issue until now. And I'm kind of like all the time having to guess what is the real problem. So here's what's going on. Take a very close listen. Once I turn the key, look at this little click. Sometimes, if this happens to you, if you're lucky enough, you could actually start your van up still by doing it maybe like 10 or more times. So, but this is kind of like beyond what it's doing. It's kind of like it's just not starting for me, so I'm really not sure what's going on. Another thing I want to show you guys is I have everything connected. My Sprinter's running. So I'm kind of not thinking it's the power issue. I'm kind of thinking it's probably the starter issue for this situation. So I'm going to turn this van off. So I'm thinking it's possibly the starter. So the starter is towards the bottom. Let me see if I could show you a little bit closer. Guys, there's a starter back there. I wanted to show you guys just in case somebody's very new to the Sprinter. This is the whole reason to my channel, is for the new people and for the people that's been having it a little bit longer, to try to find these problems and where the starter is. Now, if you're gonna get ready to change the starter, you need to climb underneath, kind of like where the transmission is, and the two bolts that's holding it, it's right through the transmission. So what I'm gonna try to do now is I'm going to try to climb underneath, and I'm going to try to attach the two connectors with my screwdriver. I'm going to try to jump start it like that, see if the starter even will spin. Okay, maybe it's going to work, maybe it's not, but right now it's doing a little click. And another thing I'm not sure about is, of course, I have front and rear lights disconnected. Maybe somehow in the wiring, if those things are disconnected, it's not going to start. I've seen that happen in some other cars. At least that's what I've heard from people telling me. It's not confirmed, but I think it's pretty much can happen if the system is disconnected and the wiring, maybe it's going to think it's unsafe and it's not going to start, which would not make any sense at all. But that's the only thing I have done to the Sprinter since the last time it started. It's just basically disconnect the headlights and tail lights, basically. So I'm gonna try to jump it like that and see if that really helps. What I have done so far, I put the key in the on position and went underneath and actually spin the motor. So that is weird. It's not coming out right now, but at least it's spinning, guys. And now look what it's doing. It's doing the same thing. So guys, by going underneath, I had the key in the on position, likable now, and I basically touched the two connectors, and the engine started to spin. And as it spun, basically, obviously, it did something to where I could actually rotate the key again. But for some reason, it sounds like it's not getting fuel, which is weird. I don't have anything here that would be disconnected. So technically, it should be fine. I just wanted to just connect it so that the vehicle is not going to die. So that's kind of weird. So let me try to start it again. They say third time's the charm. So for some reason, it did not want to come on at all. It just gave me the little clicks, which is a concern. So I'm kind of starting to think, is there something wrong with the starter? Is it kind of getting ready to go or something? But if the starter's getting ready to go, guys, and if you're having this, and you know, I would just say, hey, maybe the starter is just, it's getting ready to die. Maybe this is the first indication of the starter actually dying. And as a matter of fact, guys, this kind of is. This is why I replaced the starter last time twice when it happened on my black Sprinter. So obviously now it came out fine. It's not doing anything, so works fine. Look at it. See? But it is kind of difficult to try to start things. I'm gonna walk away a little bit. I want to So yeah, guys, I'm glad we got it started because, you know, each time this happens, I kind of feel like I don't know what's going on because really anything could be going on. But anyways, let's kind of go over the whole situation again just to make sure, because this problem is kind of critical. You might be driving somewhere, you're in a different state, and now your van does not start. What to do? Is there a chance to really start your van up again? Well, here's the first thing I would do, okay? I would first bet on a dead battery. Maybe alternator's not charging that well, maybe you got an old battery, it's time to replace it. You're gonna get that click. You're basically gonna turn the key and you're gonna get that click, okay? So that click is either telling you that the battery is completely dead, well, maybe it's just not enough juice, you know, to get the things churning again. So you may just wanna try to have somebody jump it for you. Now, if it's not gonna work within like 10 minutes, then you're gonna know, well, it's not gonna be your battery. I mean, if you have everything properly connected, it's not gonna be your battery, so it's probably gonna need to look further, probably starter. So starters are not expensive. You could just, I suggest going on Google, just Googling, let's just say for instance, if I have a 2006 Mercedes Sprinter, just put 2006 Mercedes Sprinter starter and look at what kind of results you're going to get on Google. Most likely, if you click on shop, it's going to give you a lot of different websites. That's the way I do it. So sometimes you could find a starter for like $100 and it might be Chinese crap, but I've used Chinese starter for like a long time and it worked fine. I had somebody a while ago, a really good mechanic, told me, no, don't use those starters, they cause all kinds of problems, and maybe I didn't have any issues, okay? So maybe I got lucky. But then again, you know, sometimes I have to question kind of like what kind of problems will they really start. And what he kind of pointed out seemed like it was like unrelated. He said it was damaging the crankshafts. Yeah, like crankshaft or something somehow. So I don't know. I don't see how it would. The only difference with that starter was for me is, and I've showed you guys this in one of my videos, that Chinese starter. The only thing is just it's a tiny bit bigger than your average starter, just a little bit bigger, but it fits fine. Just a bigger type of a round thing on it, but it's fine. It bolts out the same way. So guys, what I did is I went underneath the van with a thick screwdriver. You want to see what kind of screwdriver I use? A screwdriver. I've used this thing before. A while ago, that little tip broke off. I must have been prying on something, but it's thick. It's a rubber handle. It's a metal handle in the back. I've used this thing for many different things, so now I just use it kind of like my starting type of screwdriver, or if I need to like pry something, it's already kind of broken, so sometimes this little thing, it's enough to try to get in underneath something and try to pry it. But you want something with a rubber handle. You don't want to really shock yourself, okay? This is a rubber handle. It's going to protect you from electricity. Just make sure you don't touch the end while you're doing it. So it's going to be kind of tricky if you have the end, okay? If you don't, then you're going to be fine, as long as you're not touching the metal. Because you do want to be safe when you're doing it. So all I do is I try to get this as straight as possible with a little starter thing, and I slide it in there in between the plastic, and I try to wiggle around till I get some sparks. And basically sometimes you might get some sparks. Don't get scared of them. Just keep doing it and hold it down, and then it's going to start cranking. It's going to be it's going to be just cranking it. Now, before you do all that, I recommend put your van in a starting position, okay? It's probably not going to hurt anything if you're not going to put in starting position, because technically you're just turning the engine over, and even if the key's off, you could climb underneath your van right there in front and rotate it by the idler pulley. I mean, it's not a idler pulley. It's a harmonic balancer. That's what it is. It's that crankshaft type of pulley. So you could just basically being in park, nothing being like basically the key's not on or nothing, you could just basically rotate the engine and it's gonna rotate fine. But I don't know, that's just me. I put it into start and basically I go underneath and I spin it. Chances are it's not gonna start if you're gonna put it to start. If you're just gonna turn the key to the on position, because it's really, you just need one more notch for it to really start. But I don't know, I feel better with it. Now guys, let's say something's wrong with your ignition switch, okay? It's just not cutting your van on for you, but the key's still good, so the computer's still going to recognize the chip, so all that stuff is going to be good. So you may want to have somebody go and sit on your seat, on your driver's seat, and hold that key in the starting position. Of course, they're not going to be getting nothing at that point, but once you're going to go underneath the van, you're basically gonna jump start it by using your screwdriver. That's how old timers used to start their vehicles and stuff. Of course, you know, they don't have to mess with no electronics and stuff, but you could just start it from outside. So just have somebody hold it, put the screwdriver on it. It's gonna start your van up, most likely. I mean, you know, maybe in some cases it won't, so you're gonna need to, you know, keep trying. But at least if you could get that engine to spin, that started to spin over, maybe something else is gonna work, at least temporarily. You could go inside the van and you're gonna try to start it like, you know, like I kind of did. Okay, I got the starter moving, but once I turned the key back, I was not able to really get the starter to turn over again. So I'm thinking the starter is kind of like, it's kind of like locking up inside or something, because it's been sitting for a long time. So it may just need to be kind of like, I just need to start it several times and you know, just keep starting and keep using it, you know, and then things are gonna start working normal again. It's kind of like similar to the situation where I had the alternator, the one I removed, and that alternator was completely seized. But by the time I removed it, I needed to bang on it with a hammer. And when I did that, well, it loosened up the pulley, the idler pulley, because I didn't even care at that point. But well, it turned out that it loosened the pulley, and well, I was able to really rotate the alternator. But by that time, I already have removed it. So now it's going to be a usable type of alternator. You know, it's just gonna need time for it to work. I do want to make another little bonus thing for the video if you watch that long. Let me show you. I want to talk about the blower motor. I know it's kind of like unrelated, but guys, I want to just give you as a bonus. I'll post this video separately. It's spinning. Sometimes when the idler, when the blower motor, it's only spinning on one speed. Like for instance, it's gonna look like it's a windshield type of thing. That's the less speed. It's gonna spin on that one, but it will not on like number 4. But this is spinning. It will not on number 3. This is still actually spinning all the gears. Okay, I mean all the speeds, not gears. So basically, let me show you what's causing that to happen. Here's the blower motor resistor, and it sits towards the bottom, and it's kind of plugged in over here. Okay, this is where you change it. It sits like that with this little thing being over here. You're supposed to press down on it and slide it forward, and then it's gonna come out. Okay, but for some reason, once it goes out, it only works on one speed. That's it, the highest speed. I may try to take this apart eventually, because I could see that they got something on it, you know, this kind of stuff. I'm going to break it up, and I'm going to see if maybe something burns out over here in the circuit, and maybe it's possible to put it back together, because here's what I'm kind of seeing. Okay, I'm seeing that we got obviously like a positive and a negative. Let's just try to think like this. We got this little thing. Obviously that's connecting this. So this is why when this burns out inside, we still have that one speed going because of this little thing. Okay, but most likely there's something in here in the circuit, possibly connects to the side, either one of those sides, and that probably breaks. Most likely you could just take some soldering iron and you could just weld it together if you feel like breaking off all this stuff here. Which this casing is kind of like hard casing, and it looks like there's some kind of spring that's stuck in there, and it's plastic, so it's kind of like it's got a circuit. But I think it's worth messing with it. You know, I'm gonna try to make a video me messing with it. Like most likely we could find why they burn out. Maybe you could fix it, you know. But here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take one from this Sprinter that's running. I'm gonna go ahead and stick it in there. That way I'm gonna have a working blower motor on this one. Because I'm still driving this van, and I'm gonna switch over to the silver one, and then I'm gonna start fixing this one up, because this one obviously got a lot of rust to fix. It's got a lot of problems as far as rust goes. You know, it's showing up in different places. This is normal for these things. They rust. There's really nothing to worry about. But anyways, guys, I'm not gonna show you how to replace it. Just a simple plug and play. You just basically plug this in. I'm just really not set up. I might make a proper video eventually, but this is really easy. You just plug and play it. That's it. But I will make one more little piece. We plug it out. So all you need to do is to hold these little tabs. Then you need to pull this piece out. I pulled it out, so I'm gonna actually go ahead and snap it in there. So this is in there now, and we're going to stick it in here and find the grooves. There's a little area for it to go into, and then you push it inward. I felt that it did not go all the way because okay, now it did. All right, because one hand it's kind of hard to do that. So I cannot actually get it in place with one arm, so something's kind of getting stuck on me. I already even installed the other one, but this one just won't slide in me. I don't understand, you know, maybe it's something wrong with the plastic. It actually was a little bit tougher to remove too, so it's not a problem. I mean, this kind of, it's not going to go anywhere. It's just a resistor that's inside, so it will be fine. So now I have a pretty much a working resistor. This one, it's in here. And basically I just pulled it forward, no problem, and look, it just goes in with ease. There you go. But the other one, I cannot press it in like that for some reason, so go figure, you know. So now, for the last thing, let's turn the van off and see if it's going to come on again. Oh, before I do that, well actually, it's okay, I could do it after. I want to check what the check engine light is about. So I'm going to turn it off. Comes on just fine. I'll turn it off again. So it comes on good. Guys, this is the way the van should really come on. It should come on like really fast, you know. Basically quickly on and off. So I think I felt a slight hesitation. I'll turn it off. Wait a second. So that's working. One last thing I want to check is what's the check engine light up. Hey guys, I basically just ran the codes. I just got one code: exhaust recirculation control circuit range performance, P0404. Now, while I'm not sure, I haven't looked up this code, but what this telling me is this is a bad EGR, so it needs a new EGR. From what I could remember in the past, once I actually put things together, it was kind of like not pulling that good, just not that fast and stuff. So I may have a different EGR in here. I can't remember. I must have installed like a different one, like a used one or something. Maybe I used the one from here in my other van. And this EGR is definitely, its performance is not good, so I may have to stick another EGR in here, and you know, most likely that one's gonna be pretty good. So yeah, so I think that's what it is. As far as I've seen another light for the brake light. It could be that I wired it up not as good. It probably doesn't have like a good connection because I basically cut the wires and I rewired the whole system. I'm not sure about the battery ones if I rewired them, but the ABS ones I sure did. Yeah, I did rewire the battery ones, come to think of it. So I basically got them on crimp connections, and it was really late. I actually could not see anything, guys, when I was doing. To my defense, it was actually pitch black. And I was underneath trying to complete this last little thing that I wanted to do. And I think for the most part I did everything correctly, but I could have maybe, you know, one of the wires maybe did not go all the way in or whatever, you know. It's kind of because I was going by feel. But anyways, guys, this concludes my video. Hopefully you liked it. Hit a like if you liked it. So far in this video I kind of like showed you kind of several different things, and I've talked about 3 different problems that very common with this printer, one of them being with this EGR code. So if you guys have this little problem, most likely it's the EGR, maybe just needs a little cleaning, maybe the electronics is bad. But this one, as far as I could tell, it was not accelerating really strong, so it definitely feels like the EGR is not performing. I actually felt that from the beginning, so I was guessing it. Now we actually got the code.